This time on Lighting Answers, we're heading back to the world of home automation. Smart home automation. And we're taking a road trip. Hey, I'm Joe DeGanzik, and we are back on the home automation and Internet of Things category this time. We spent some time reviewing some great LED light bulbs, so I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll have more sort of smart home episodes coming up. But this time it's all about SmartThings. It's a company you may have heard about. They had a very successful Kickstarter project several years ago, and last year they got acquired by Samsung. So now they have plenty of capital and can continue working on their products and their overall system. What is it? It is a hub-based smart, well, they call it SmartThings, a home automation system, and you can control it via apps from your smartphone or tablet. And it integrates with a wide variety of devices that are already on the market. And they built it on protocols such as Z.W.A.F and Zigbee, and they're of course going to be working on adding probably more standards to it in the future. In fact, there's second generation hardware coming out this fall. Anyways, I don't personally use it in my own world here because I have an existing Insteon system with other devices added onto it and sort of invested into. So I haven't used it or seen it in real life and haven't seen it in action. But luckily, earlier this summer, my good friend Chris invited me over to his new place he had just moved into with his wife, and he wanted me to check out his new SmartThings-based home automation system that he had just gotten started with. So, for your benefit, we took the cameras along. Take a look. Hey Chris, how are you?
Hey Joe,
long
good
time
to
no
see
see. So I hear we've been talking online. I hear you've got some SmartThings.
Yeah, why don't you come in and take a look?
Awesome, awesome. Let's take a look.
All right.
So Chris, it was great to have a quick tour of your house, but you were telling me that one of your first objectives was kind of like, you know, what do you, I mean, whenever you talk about home, anyone talks about home automation, it's like, what's objective number one, right? What did you want to do first? Why did you even get home automation?
Yeah, for us, objective number one was turning lights on and off on a schedule at a certain time. And because we wanted to do that based on time of day, not on time of day, but on sunrise, sunset, we wanted a system that was changeable easily, so as the time of, as sunrise, sunset changed, the lights turned on and off based on that, not always at 6 o'clock.
So we're at your front door, we came into your front door. But anyways, so what do you have going on here? So
I bought a SmartThings unit, and I bought that because I wanted to not be locked into a proprietary system. And SmartThings touts that it can work with Insteon, or it can work with a number of the Wemo and Z.W.A.F and Zigbee and all that.
Chris is also an Android user, and I'm an Apple guy. We're still friends, 5 years on, so it's possible to live in different ecosystems. But as I say all the time on the show, you have to use what's best for your application and what you like.
So yeah, I bought a SmartThings hub.
Cool.
And with that came 2 plug-in non-dimmable modules. They're not really big into dimming. Maybe in the future. Right. And
I'm working on this.
Yeah. And then I bought 2 and then a third, so for a total of 3 of the GE Z.W.A.F in-wall switches that are Z.W.A.F, and they work great. And I love the GE brand. It's really worked very well. What
about the GE that you really liked?
So first of all, price. They retail for $45 to $50 a piece, and you can get them all over Amazon and from SmartThings. The quality of the unit is really good. They're the high tech where you just push in the wire, so you don't have to easy install. They look really nice. They're clean. They're clean. Nice. They
don't like foreign, strange things that people would not know how to use.
Exactly. They're regular Decora switches. They come in. They have both white and off-white in the same kit. And they have a nice little LED on them to show status, and you can set that however you want. So here I have for our front door light. And I have for our what my wife calls our fancy porch lights.
Yes.
And so they have a nice tactile feel. They actually move slightly when you turn them on, just a little bit. You have that click, and you see that they got the LED because this one's on, and you feel that again as you turn that off compared to a regular Decora click switch. And the great thing is they synced up with the SmartThings unit immediately. You just turn it on and off locally, and that syncs it.
Right.
Even the farthest one in the house, which we'll look at, that was the first one I did, and it's all the way across the house, and it just worked.
And you have your SmartThings hub in your office, which we would show you more of this office because it's really cool, but it doesn't have much lighting in there.
Yeah,
so
it's dark
working on that too.
Cave-like.
Yeah, but anyways, so it pretty much covers the whole place without a problem, and it's on one side of the house, and some of your controllers are on the other side of the house.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I can control that.
And this is what about how many square feet is your house?
About 2,000.
Okay, so yeah, good size house.
Good size house, good decent distance. You do need a neutral, and so I made sure I had a neutral when we bought the place.
Yeah, we'll show the app and so forth here in a little bit. But why don't we take a look at that other location that we were talking about?
Absolutely.
So, Chris, tell me about this hallway that we're in and why this was like your next thing that you wanted to work on.
So that's the back hallway in the house, and it's really dark. Without any lights on, you'd trip over things left and right. So when we moved into the house, it just had a little accent light at the bottom, and we added a sconce. But still, the light needs to be on. And so one of the major things I want to do is, at the same time that we turn on a light in the living room and we turn on the front porch light for the evening, we wanted that back hallway light to just come on automatically so that you can see whenever you go back there. The first thing I want to do is the front porch light, I wanted that to go on at dusk and go off at dawn. But I wanted other lights in the house to go on at dusk and go off when we go to bed. So I wanted to be able to do different scenes based not only on strict time, but based on time of year, etc. And I wanted them to be, you know, come on. Two scenes go on at the same time and then later go off. And so that was really important. The software makes that really easy, and it makes it great because we can set it to actually go on 20 or 30 minutes prior to dusk or go off.
Which is helpful for when, depending on your house, that dusk might be either super dark or it might be in totally
Exactly,
totally light.
And dusk here is pretty dark in the house. It's a dark house.
Right.
So we have 30 minutes before dusk is when the lights all go on. And then they go off at the appropriate time.
I thought my watch was telling me to stand, which thankfully it wasn't because I'm already standing. Does SmartThings have an app for Android Wear where you can do any of the control stuff from your wrist?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I haven't gotten an Android Wear watch, and so.
I'm surprised that you haven't done that.
I haven't done that. I've been waiting for Generation 2. To be honest, I know what Apple's going to do, and now I want to see Android Wear's response.
Yeah. SmartThings out of the box, basically, it does Z-Wave, it does
Zigbee, it does Wemo,
anything that's like
it does
IP
Nest.
controlled,
Yeah,
right?
it can do Nest and a lot of
They have a lot of
ones.
integrations across multiple different
Right, but it works best with Z-Wave and Zigbee.
Right.
They're kind of super approved.
And they have a whole list on the SmartThings website of devices that are approved.
It's a pretty large list.
It is a pretty large list. It's surprising. So what are some things that you want to tackle like in the future? I know you mentioned you've got this kind of old, not really that old, it's not that many years ago, but it seems old, the thermostat, right?
Yeah, it's a Honeywell programmable thermostat, the common 80s and 90s, etc. version.
And you used to have a Nest
We used to have
installed.
a Nest. Yeah, the Nest didn't really work great for us. I love being able to turn it on and off remotely. The location for that Nest was not great, so it didn't realize we were home. That was in a hallway. We had the same problem here. The thermostat's around the corner, so that automation doesn't work. That either you home or not doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm thinking of just actually not reinstalling the Nest and just going with a Z-Wave based Honeywell.
Something that you can control, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Exactly.
And maybe it's a little bit cheaper as well.
Exactly. And trying that out and just being able to set the temperature. Really, it's changing the temperature up a couple of degrees when you go to bed. That's the main thing we're interested in. That's
the main thing. Now, you were joking about this term that I hadn't heard, but I think because I'm a single guy and you're married, and you're the more techie of the two.
Definitely.
So you brought up this 3-letter like acronym.
W.A.F, or more appropriately SAF. That would be wife or spouse acceptance factor.
Ah, okay.
Which it's the SmartThings type.
Is that why the Nest was nixed?
The Nest was nixed because the wife didn't like it quite as much, and I think a lot of that had to do with that auto feature, and we could turn that off, and I think we'd have.
I've turned off half of the auto features on my Nest not for the same reason, but because it didn't work quite in my home.
Yeah. So my wife is a professional artist. She works from home, and so it was turning off when she was here, and she hadn't left the room.
Right.
For a while. So either a Nest or one of the Z-Wave programmable ones to just take care of those couple little features. Do I need that? No. This is a programmable. I could just set it and forget about it. But it's nice to have all those features tied into SmartThings. And the fact that SmartThings does all that with no monthly fee. I talked to you about the fact that
that's right.
my alarm does Z-Wave, but they won't charge me a few dollars a month.
That's right.
And I'd rather have this. And if I get something that's not Z-Wave, Zigbee, you know, another brand, chances are it's going to work.
It's going to support it, or some software upgrade
will
do it. Yeah. I know you had some other thoughts of doing some things with sensors outside, pool lights, things like that.
The wife is interested in having the pool light come on automatically if you go into the backyard. I was thinking of connecting one of their wireless motion sensors or their trip sensors to the pool gate. So you open the pool gate and the light turns on. How great would that be?
Totally.
Yeah, and I'm interested in doing the garage door for the same reason. Do I know if the garage door is closed?
That's right.
And their water sensor, their water leak sensor, I think.
Like the water heater. Now, speaking of your wife, I know you had come to me last year asking about some LED bulbs because you had moved into the place.
Just moved in.
And her studio needed better lighting. A lot of times with art, you want to have like full spectrum lighting, and that's where you don't necessarily want warm tones or necessarily cool tones because you're trying to work with art and you need a perfect lighting.
Absolutely.
So
when we moved in here, the entire house was full of contractor grade CFLs. And so the idea is that I'm never buying a CFL again after talking to you, and as they die, replacing them with LEDs. And so that you and I've known each other for quite a while. I asked you about what bulbs to buy, and you recommended the Cree LED bulbs.
That's right.
And so as the bulbs have died, we replaced the CFLs with Cree, and I specifically got the daylight Crees entirely for her studio.
Right.
And she's a professional artist, very good at color. Approved instantly. I bought one, put it in
to test it,
and then went right back to Home Depot and bought 3 more. And the goal is to replace every light in the house with the Cree LEDs.
And so that is SmartThings in a nutshell. It was great to actually see it in action, and thanks again to Chris and Susan for letting me bring the cameras over and take a look at their place and put it on video for you all. So SmartThings is a pretty good solution if you're just getting into home automation and you want a wide variety of devices to choose from, and you know that it's going to be compatible with many different devices in the future. And obviously they're owned by Samsung now, so they're not going anywhere, and they're going to provide a good competition to a number of the other smart home players out there. You can get into SmartThings for about $200. They have various kits that have a couple modules plus the hub. Like I said, there is a new hub coming out supposedly by the end of September, and so I would wait if you were actually just itching to get into the home automation world. Just wait another month or so. It is also rumored that it'll be available with HomeKit compatibility. That could also include in the future Project Brillo compatibility from Google. So the HomeKit is from Apple, tying all these different device ecosystems together, so that would be really great. As I mentioned in the video, yes, it is compatible with things like the Apple Watch, Galaxy Gear, and Android Wear, and of course across the smartphone and tablet ecosystems, Windows Phone, Android, and iOS. So that pretty much is our SmartThings episode, and it's pretty cool. It's great to actually see it in action. And don't forget, of course, back to on our side of things, to set in your questions. Questions@answers.lighting is the email address where you can get me, and I get back to you every couple of days. And we will be starting up the Q&A episodes again. In the future, we've got some cool episodes coming up, kind of an update on the good old August Smart Lock that I've been living with for about 6 months, kind of an updated review on that, in addition to coverage of Apple's big announcement. Probably that's going to be September 8th when they announce Apple TV and new iPhones, and hopefully they'll be pushing HomeKit and get that market out there with their manufacturers. So that is it. You can find us across the social webs and the interwebs, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I'm Joe Deganzik for Lighting Answers, and I'll talk to you next time.